Hi, this is Gary from 3Bug Media, and today we're going to talk about Google Analytics and what reports small business owners can look at that can make an impact for their business. So for this video, I'm assuming you're a small business owner, you have Google Analytics installed, you have logged in before, but you don't really know what to look at and how to make sense of all the reporting in there. So I'm going to go over some basic reports that you can look at and how you can take action on them for your business, okay? So when it comes to Google Analytics, there's a wealth of information in there, and there's way more than you'll ever use. So the key is understanding which ones are important for your business and how to extract meaning from each one of those reports so you can take action on them, because analytics without being able to take action is pretty much useless. And what happens is most small business owners default to just looking at total traffic. You know, how many visits did I get last month? Which is a meaningless number because you can't do anything with that. So if I told you you had 3,000 visits last month, you can't take any action to change any of that. It doesn't mean anything. So only when you dive a little bit deeper in your analytics and analyze it, then you can start making some meaningful changes on there, okay? So I'm doing a whiteboard video so I can explain it a little bit better. All you need to do is just log into Google Analytics and just click on the tabs as I explain them, and you'll be able to go and check out the reports, okay? So the first report, a basic one but an important one, is once you're logged into Google Analytics, you're gonna click on Acquisition, and then you're gonna click on Source Medium. And what that's gonna do, it's gonna show you a breakdown of your traffic by medium. So it's gonna tell you where your traffic's coming from. So you'll be able to see your organic traffic, email traffic, Google AdWords, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter traffic. You'll be able to see a breakdown of the traffic, which is a lot more useful for you than just looking at a big lump of all your traffic, you know, as one stat on there. So once you see that, you can look at a whole bunch of different metrics. You can look at time on site, how long are people spending on your site, to see what people are more engaged than not. You know, you can look at your bounce rate. Bounce rate is basically somebody came to your site, they visited one page, and they left. So typically, a high bounce rate means less engagement if they're leaving after one visit. So if it's a high bounce rate, you may want to look at that to see why people are leaving. Average page views you can look at. So on average, how many pages are people visiting on your site, okay? And goal conversions, which we're gonna talk a little bit more about down here when we talk about goals, but goal conversions are really important for Google Analytics. You want to set them up because it's going to be your way of being able to track success on there. Think of it like a soccer game. You know, if you're watching a soccer game and you remove the goals, you won't be able to know who's winning. You'll see people running around kicking the ball, but you actually won't be able to judge who's winning, you know, and who's losing on there. Same thing with Google Analytics. You need to set up goals on there, and goals can be anything like contact forms, email downloads, certain pages that are visited, or a certain time on site, things like that. There's a whole bunch of different goals. We'll get in a little bit more into that in a minute. So with your acquisition and your source medium traffic, basically what you want to do is you want to take a look at all your traffic sources and get a better understanding of which traffic sources are more engaged, which ones spend more time on your site, which ones are performing more conversions where they're filling out contact forms and things like that. Then over time, you can start to see, well, if I'm spending a lot of time on Facebook, but the engagement levels are horrible and nobody ever fills out a contact form, but on LinkedIn, I'm getting form conversions and better engagement, but I don't spend that much time there, it may lead you to make a decision to invest more time in, say, LinkedIn. And same thing with advertising or SEO and things like that. So over time, you'll be able to see where your best traffic's coming from, okay? So this is gonna show us some data about the quality of our traffic. The next one we're gonna talk about is behavior. We're gonna talk about the actual pages on your site and how they perform. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna click on behavior, site content, and then click on all pages, okay? The other metric you can look at as well is landing pages. So all pages is basically the most popular pages on your site in terms of page views. So they're the most popular pages. Landing pages is a little bit different. It shows you your top landing pages, which is the first page somebody visited when they came to your site. So if you're doing, say, Google AdWords and you're sending people to a landing page, you can track the metrics with that on there as well. If you're not doing advertising, this landing page report is a great way to see possibly what pages are ranking in the search engines. Because if you're getting landing pages that are getting a lot of visits and you're not sending paid traffic to it, that's a good indicator that those pages are ranking somewhere organically in Google or Bing search, and they're driving organic traffic to your site. So that may be a great way for you to look at those and analyze those pages. Some of the metrics you can look at is same thing, time on page. How much time are people spending on the page by traffic source on there? You know what I mean? You want to see if the pages are engaging to the people that are reading them. So I'll give you an example. Say you have an about page, and if you read it, it takes 1.5 minutes to read the whole entire thing. But if you look at your traffic sources and you look at you look at all pages and you look at the traffic data for that page, you realize that the average time spent on that page is only 30 seconds, and that's not enough time to read the whole thing. So that tells you that the people visiting that page aren't reading the whole thing. So maybe you need to shorten it or make it more engaging, things like that. Same thing with your service pages, your home page, any pages. You can look at it and see, well, you know what, somebody should be spending at least 1 minute on this page to really take in all the information, and they're only spending 20 seconds. So something's wrong. They're not engaged. They're leaving before they finish reading it. So that gives you an opportunity to improve those pages. Okay, so you're also going to look at your exit rate. Exit rate is basically how many people are making this the last page they visit before they leave your website. Okay, and that's an important metric, because if you have, say, a service page and the exit rate is really high, and it's not supposed to be, like a contact page may have a high exit rate, but if they fill out the contact form, that's okay, they can leave. But say a service page where you're trying to explain, your service, and that has a very high exit rate, that may be a good indicator that you're basically just losing people on that page. They're losing interest, it doesn't resonate with them, and they're leaving. And that's a great opportunity for you to analyze that page and see how you can make it more engaging or create a better offer for it or something like that. And also with conversions too, you want to see what pages are producing conversions for your website. Okay, so the first one analyzes your traffic, and the second one here is going to analyze the quality of your pages on there and how people are engaging with them. Next one is goals. And what you're going to do is you're going to click on goals, and then you're going to click on overview. And then what you want to do is you want to look at your goals by medium. Now, when it comes to goals, you can set up multiple goals in Google Analytics, and for different types of things. You can set up goals for contact form submissions, email conversions, downloads, special pages that people visit that are important, to your business, or just general time on site. Maybe if people, average time on site for you is 1 minute. If people spend more than 2 minutes, you want to know where that traffic's coming from, so you may make that a goal. And the nice thing with Google Analytics is you can create multiple goals. So you can create, I don't know what the number is, but you can create a whole bunch of goals on there and track all of these. And this is where you're going to go to track those goals. You'll be able to see some goal conversion data in these reports, but if you have multiple conversion options, then you're going to want to come here, and then you can slice and dice it and see conversions based on which goal that you set up. Okay, so this, I should have probably put this first, but this is probably the most important thing you want to do, is set up goals for analytics, because like I said earlier, if you don't set up goals, it's like playing soccer without a goal net on there. It's going to be very difficult for you to judge success and what's working, what traffic's good traffic for your site if you don't set up goal conversion. So it's pretty easy to do. You can just go to Google and just type up set up goals on Google Analytics, and there's a whole bunch of step-by-step tutorials on how to do it. It's not very hard to do. Okay, so goals you're going to check out, and you're going to break it down by medium so you can see what traffic is delivering which goals for your website. The next one is little used. It's not used very much, and a lot of people don't even know about it, but it's super important, especially if you have a lot of different sources of traffic and if you're doing paid advertising for your business. And what you're going to do is you're going to click on goals, multi-channel funnels, and top conversion paths. Okay, so what top conversion paths is, it shows you what sources of traffic what mediums contributed to a conversion on your website. So in Google Analytics, by default, they use what's called last touch attribution. So what that means is, say you run a Google AdWords ad. Somebody clicks on it, they go to your website, they don't buy anything, or they don't fill out a contact form, they leave. And then the next day they see a post of yours on Facebook, they click on it, they go back to your website, and they wind up filling out the contact form. In Google Analytics, it'll show you that Facebook was responsible for that conversion, for that form submission, when in reality, it was the Google AdWords ad that originally got their attention and brought them to the website. So if it wasn't for that ad, the Facebook conversion never would have happened on there. And a lot of people make the mistake of only looking at their last touch goal conversions and making decisions on it. So you may see on your report that, say, Google AdWords isn't delivering a lot of conversions and you're spending money on it. So you may decide to drop it, which has happened with a couple clients I know that I've worked with. This has happened to them before. They decide to drop it and all of a sudden their conversions go down the drain and they don't know what happened because Google AdWords wasn't contributing to those conversions. But when we look at the multi-top conversion path report, we found that, say Google AdWords is creating a lot of that initial traffic and initial, awareness for the website, but it's not making the final conversion. So it's contributing to a lot of conversions, just not on the last one on there. So this is a great report and it'll give you some more insights on how your different marketing activities and mediums all work together to give you conversions on your site. You may see 2, 3, or 4 different channels that are all working together in order to make a conversion on your site. And so as you get more traffic and as you have more different sources of traffic, you'll find that this becomes very valuable for you for making decisions to see what channel is really contributing to your conversions for your website. Okay, and the last one is audience, and this one might be a little bit different. It really depends on what kind of business you have, what kind of location you cover, if you're just a city or you're the whole country or the whole world, things like that. So you might have to slice and dice it a little bit more. But basically you're gonna click on audience, you're gonna click on geo, and you're gonna click on location. And from there, what you can do is you can see your traffic, where your traffic's coming from. So you can look at it by country, by region, by state, by city on there. So you can slice and dice it based on what area you're covering. And this will give you a good indicator of, say, your traffic in New York is a lot better than quality-wise and conversion-wise than your traffic in Miami. And that may make you decide to run more advertising in New York and maybe drop your advertising in Miami. So if location is important for you, if you're covering multiple locations, then this is a good metric to look at as well. The other one is mobile overview. So you're going to click on audience, mobile, and overview, and that'll tell you what percentage of your traffic is coming from desktop, phones, and tablets on there, which is really important because number one, if you don't have a mobile-friendly website, you need to pretty much stop everything you're doing and get a mobile-friendly website. That should be a priority for you if you're doing any kind of online marketing, because I'll tell you right now, every single one of our clients, the majority of the traffic comes from mobile now. And everyone I talk to, it's pretty much the same exact thing. The world is moving to mobile. So here you can see what percentage of people are viewing on your phone, things like that. And then you can start analyzing your website and say, is my site mobile friendly? How can I get more conversions from a phone? Maybe that's simplifying the contact form. Maybe that's, removing some steps in the process of trying to find your product or service, or shortening your copy to make it easier to read on mobile. Things like that. Maybe even making your buttons bigger so they're easier to click on. So simple things like that, if you're getting a lot of mobile traffic, can make a big impact on your conversions on there. So that's a great one to look at too, to see where your traffic is coming from and what kind of device they're using to view your traffic. Okay. Another cool metric, I don't have it written down here, but even if you're doing advertising, say if most of your traffic is coming from mobile, you can actually break it down by device. And if most of them are coming from, say iPhones, and most of your conversions are coming from iPhones, you can actually run a Google AdWords campaign and just target iPhones and exclude all other, phone traffic on there. So give you a lot of data in analytics where you can make some good advertising decisions. Okay, so that's it. Here's some 5 easy metric. If you don't know what else to do, these are a great starting point. There's a million other things you can do in Google Analytics, but these are good places to start if you're a small business owner and you're just getting started with analytics and you just kind of want to make sense of how it works. Okay, so I hope you learned a little bit. If you have any questions, you can contact us at 3bugmedia.com. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel below and learn more about online marketing. Thank you very much and have a good day.